Hello, I'm ETarte, once a Catholic priest for 5 years, but now an atheist, which means I find no credible evidence for the existence of any God. At a recent video of mine, a commenter, 178 Lawrence, says, quote, I am an 18-year-old Catholic completely faithful to the magisterium of the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. I will be entering the seminary this coming fall. Unquote. So obviously Lawrence is a male, not a female, and he makes it clear in other comments that he is very excited about the prospect of becoming a Catholic priest. Well, I was there. Lawrence is apparently just out of high school. I was just out of college. He has made one of the most important decisions of his life. I made one of the most important decisions of my life. I became a seminarian. I was that from 1957 to 1963, and then a priest from 1963 until 1968. I have some questions for you, Lawrence, from one of my early videos. Please prove that the universe was created by exactly one God, your God. Not by 2 gods, not by 5 gods, not by 17 gods, not by 17 million gods. We need evidence. My next question. How do you answer Greta Christina when she says,
I'm angry that people are dying of AIDS in Africa and South America because the Catholic Church convinced them that using condoms makes baby Jesus cry?
Next. Will you tell Catholic married couples that if they use artificial birth control, they will go to hell? What will you say to them if they reply, that is bullshit? Will you tell a Catholic wife that she must not have a tubal ligation or else she will go to hell? What will you say to her and her husband if they reply, that is bullshit? Do you agree with your church in opposing gay marriage? If so, consider, the issue of gay marriage now is analogous to the civil rights struggle of equality for blacks when I was your age. Assuming that you become a priest and remain one throughout a long life, during your priesthood, gay marriage will win out. Will you give in? Or will you stay with your church's position? Next, Lawrence, I have a question for you about literal versus figurative interpretation of what your Jesus reportedly said. As reported in Matthew 21, Mark 11, John 14, and Matthew 18, your Jesus promised that if any believer makes a prayer request to God, God will grant the prayer as requested. This was an unconditional promise, the only requirement being faith. This is one of the most unambiguous things that your Jesus reportedly ever said. My guess is, though, that you take that promise of Jesus not literally, but figuratively. So my question is, why is that figurative interpretation appropriate, but you insist we must take literally his alleged words at the Last Supper, which he said, referring to bread, this is my body, and then saying, do this in remembrance of me. Most non-Catholic Christians would say to you, it is ridiculous to think that you can literally change bread into the body of Jesus. He didn't mean that literally. How do you respond? Another question. Are you in favor of proportionality between crime and punishment? That is, for the sake of justice, should the punishment fit the crime? Is your God all just? Is hell, as created and maintained by your God, an example of his justice? Does a finite offense deserve an extremely severe punishment of infinite duration. Are you going to teach little children about hell and then look at yourself in the mirror every morning? And finally, for now, your biblical God once told Abraham to kill his son Isaac. If your God came to you and told you to kill a parent of yours, would you do it? If your answer is no, please explain why not. If your answer is yes, please notify that specific parent of yours, and we would be interested in knowing his or her reaction. There are many more questions that I would like to ask you, Lawrence, but that is enough for now. My friends watching this, do you have questions for this 18-year-old kid who is moving toward adulthood, 178 Lawrence? If so, please put your questions in the comments section. Thank you. To all of you, thank you for watching this video.